Hi, I am Amir. In video production, there are two types of camera formats, single camera and multi-camera. In this video, we'll be giving you a better understanding about single camera production. Some of the topics we're going to cover are also about Malaysia broadcast specification and the gears needed to pull off a good single camera production. So what is a single camera production? Single camera production is a mode of production where one camera operates at a time, and the shots are done in the most economically efficient order. Single camera productions are not live and include a lot of editing and takes. The single camera setup or single camera mode of production is a method of filmmaking and video production. A single camera is employed on the set, and each shot to make up a scene is taken individually. The art of single camera production lies on how you mix shots from multiple angles and edit it to become a good story. Your editing process may be more time consuming and you will have headaches in maintaining the continuity of shots. A single camera production with good script, planning and a director who knows about composition and framing, plus have a keen mind in visualizing the end result he or she afters, can make a very good video production. Before we start shooting, we need to know what is the broadcast specification in our country. As we live in Malaysia, we are in a PAL state. We use 25 frames per second frame rate, not 29.97 or 23.976. These are for NTSC, which is a standard for American TV broadcast. If you are producing for Malaysian TV stations like RTM, Media Prima or Astro, our video product must be shot in interlaced format at either 720 by 576, which is PAL standard definition, or 1080 by 1920, which is full HD. These interlaced formats are the standard for any TV station in Malaysia. Okay, let us look at the gear needed to pull off a good single camera production. We are living in a country using PAL. If you are seeing 30 or 29.97 frames per second in your setting, your camera video system is set to NTSC. Set your camera to PAL. This will enable you to access the correct specification for our country. If you are shooting for TV stations, you need to buy, borrow, but not steal cameras capable to shoot in interlaced mode. Most camcorders have these features, but only a few DSLRs have these capabilities. So check your camera settings if you have a 1080 i50 or a 25i in your camera. However, if you are shooting for the web or for in-house viewing, you are free to shoot in progressive mode. Most cameras and DSLR sold here have this mode. It is stated as 720p50 or 1080p25. You can even shoot in 24 frames per second if you want to. But be warned, the video shot in these settings won't pass the quality control of any TV station if you send it to them. In order to capture natural-looking motion, there is a correct shutter speed for each specific frame rate. Keep in mind that as the shutter speed changes either slower or faster, so will the look of the video. With slower shutter speed, more motion blur will be visible in moving subjects. With higher shutter speed, less motion blur will appear, making your videos appear choppy. The standard frame shutter speed for shooting in PAL mode is 1/50. Due to this shutter speed and frame rate limitation, the settings combination cannot change during capture. This means you will face the challenge of having only ISO and aperture to obtain a desired exposure. This can be most challenging when shooting in bright environments. My advice is to get an ND filter, or if you are lucky, your camcorder will have one built in. If you want your video to look professional, set your camera to manual focus. Consider f-stopping down the lens to sharpen and increase depth of field. Be sure focus is spot on by using an external monitor. On-camera and off-camera monitors can be plugged directly into the camera's HDMI port using an HDMI mini to HDMI standard cable or adapter. For the most automated route with the least monitoring, some of the latest DSLR cameras include full-time autofocus mode for video, yielding expert subject tracking and face detection. This means the camera follows the subject through the scene, keeping it sharp without the need for constantly pulling focus. If you are using a DSLR to shoot, it is better to customize the picture style. A sharp and contrast video will create flickers and more in your shot, and if too saturated makes it difficult to color correct in post. So set the sharpness and contrast to 0 and saturation to 2 notch down. This will make the editing process much easier in post. If you are shooting indoors with less light source, you can simply bump up your ISO. The higher the ISO, the more noisier your video image will get. Try not to use more than 800 ISO when shooting indoor unless you have a good denoiser software. To overcome this, you need lights. You can use Kino lights, redheads, or the more popular and cheap option, LED lights. Make sure you white balance before you shoot. Your editor will thank you later. Audio from internal camera mic won't be clear and difficult to monitor. If the environment sound is noisy or your talents are located far from the camera, you might end up with the beautiful shots but horrible audio. It would be much worse to correct in post. Get yourself a wireless microphone or a boom mic. If possible, use an external device to record the audio, and you can assign one of your crew with good hearing to monitor the audio quality. If your scenes requires lock shots, get yourself a good tripod with fluid heads. If your shots requires camera movement, get yourself a stabilizer, or if you can afford it, a gimbal stabilizer. Other than that, is to have more than one memory cards and batteries. You definitely don't want to wait for a battery to charge, or you need to transfer your full memory card. So there you have it, the gears needed for single camera production. In the next segment, we'll be talking about shooting a narrative scene. See you in the next episode.